What is up, everybody? I'm George Mossey. So, 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 7, Episode 11 has aired. Now, we checked in with Bilal and Shaeeda this week. We actually took a week off from them last week. So, we were watching their story play out this season and actually last season as well. And it's kind of sounding like a broken record stuck on repeat. We're watching Bilal say he wants nothing to do with children, and we're watching Shaeeda say she wants everything to do with children. And we just kind of feel like we're going around in a circle. This week, we got something new. So after being in Kansas City for some time, Shaeeda has received her employment card. Now, as everyone is aware, Shaeeda had a very successful yoga business back in Trinidad that she unfortunately had to close when she decided to move to America and marry Bilal. Now, Shaeeda has never been one who wanted to come over and live in Bilal's home and not work. Shaeeda has always had the ambition of having her yoga studio here in the States, and she is a very talented yoga teacher. I have seen some of her posts on social media. She is definitely able to do things that most normal human beings can't do. So I do believe that her teaching other people yoga is a gift. And I definitely feel like that's something that she should be sharing with everyone else. We watched Bilal kind of discourage Shaeeda from opening the studio, saying that there's proper steps and she needs to actually start finding customers and trying to gear up business. So one thing that I've noticed about Bilal is very, very adamant at controlling what Shaeeda does. So a lot of people look at it as Bilal wants to be the one who makes the money because that way he's able to call the shots. The person who makes the money in the relationship is able to say yes or no to anything that the other person wants to do. Now, Shaeeda wants to be able to make her own money so she doesn't have to answer to Bilal and she doesn't have to get permission to do things that she wants to do. He's already shut down the idea of her having a child, even though she is 37 years old and has learned from her doctor that her time is very limited. He has still decided that is not something that she's allowed to do. And now at this point, it's almost seeming as though he doesn't want her to open a yoga studio at this time. One thing that we've noticed, a recurring theme with Bilal, is everything is not right now. When is the right time for her to open a yoga studio? When is the right time for her to have a child? Bilal says that the idea of having a child would hinder them from the life that they live and it would be a financial burden on him. So if Shaeeda wants to work and contribute to that situation, that would make having a child less of a financial burden. So Shaeeda decided to go and look at a nice space for her yoga studio with some of Bilal's real estate co-workers who gave her amazing ideas of what she could do with that space, such as subletting and even opening a daycare for mothers who want to come in for the yoga studio. And that even brought up the idea of Shaeeda bringing her own child to the yoga studio with her and hiring a childcare worker to help watch the children while their mothers are in yoga, which seems like an amazing business plan. The hardest part of this situation, once again, is going to be convincing Bilal to allow Shaeeda to do something. Because as we've been watching this season as well as last season, Shaeeda isn't really allowed to do much of anything. Bilal is the decider of everything that Shaeeda does, her future, her fate. All decisions go through the one true king, which in Bilal's mind is him. She is unable to make decisions on her own, and he even tries to belittle her when she does make decisions on her own by saying that she doesn't think things through and she's impulsive and she's not good with money. How can he know any of these things if he's never given her the opportunity to even make a decision to make a mistake? So we're going to keep watching Bilal and Shaeeda and see how difficult he makes it for her to open her own yoga studio. Even though it is a proven fact she can be successful, he knows that she was successful. He still feels that this is a risk he might not be willing to take. All right, guys, I'm George Mossey. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at George Mossey and at georgemossey.com for all your 90 Day Fiancé news and updates.